Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is a beautiful remaster of one of the best JRPGs of all time. I'm Astra, and today we'll dive into the 20 best changes between the original and the remake of Xenoblade X. Joining me today is the lovely Nishquick Pops.
How's it poppin', guys? It's me, Nishquick, from the channel Nishquick Pops. Thank you so much, Astra, for having me on this collab to talk about the best changes in Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. This game has been so much more fun to play on the Switch, and I'm so excited to talk about all the amazing changes that made it an even better experience.
Remember the good old days when it took 5 minutes for the game to load? Well, not anymore. In Definitive Edition, load times are just a few seconds, regardless if you're traveling one FN site over, or if you're traveling all the way to the other side of Mira, all thanks to faster rendering. It's not just the load times that were fixed, but also the numerous graphical bugs. I remember one time I was fighting Joker the Unknowable, and it actually escaped through the tiny hole in the flower. I found it absolutely insane, considering that Joker is much bigger than that tiny little hole in the flower, and it's only small enough that you can jump out of it when you're on foot, and that's about it. Definitely not big enough for a Blada to fall through. Comment below if you've ever experienced any funny bugs in the original.
So unfortunately, the whole OST for Xenoblade Chronicles X is not remixed like it was for Xenoblade Chronicles 1 Definitive Edition in 2020, but we got some amazing remixes for two of some of the best songs in Xenoblade X, and that is Don't Worry and The Key We Lost. We got two new amazing remixes for those. Don't Worry's remix is on by default, so when you start flying around in your Skell, you're immediately going to hear it, but you can toggle back and forth with the original version and the remix version whenever you want. I will say, I don't want to say when the Kiwi Lost remix plays. You might have heard it in some of the trailers, but the moment in which it plays is truly incredible. It's insane.
One of the more obvious changes is the character model changes. Overall, the character models have been absolutely upgraded with details in the lighting, color, and contrast. The eyes look absolutely beautiful with the new glass-like effect that really brings out the vibrant colors. The hair is much more detailed down to the fine strands. Some characters had major changes such as Elma's new hairstyle and Gwen's glow-up. If you'd like to see every detail, be sure to check out my video on every character change and comment below if you prefer the old or the new character models.
The Miran Archives are a new addition to Xenoblade Chronicles X in this Definitive Edition, and it's very similar to other lore archives from other games like the Memorandum in Metaphor ReFantazio or the Act of Time lore in Final Fantasy XVI, and I've also heard that the Xenosaga trilogy also has something similar to this as well. Basically, with the Miran Archives, you can take a look back at lore from all of Mira relating to xenoforms, indigents, characters, races, etc. I really hope something like this is in Xenoblade Chronicles 4 or whatever Monolith Soft makes next, because it's going to make it a lot easier to keep track of all the different characters and story beats and lore bits as well.
Have you ever experienced a moment where your Switch dies, or you forgot to save, and perhaps the power went out? I had a moment when I was streaming and the power went out, but luckily autosave kicked in. Autosave has been added so you don't have to worry about losing your progress. You have an option to load from your actual save file, or you can load from autosave. I had a moment where I autosaved seconds before an inevitable scale break, and of course, I went back and I chose to load from my save file. There's also now multiple save slots, which is amazing if you want to do multiple runs, unlike on the Wii U where that was not possible unless you made a new profile.
All your party members now level up together, and this is an amazing change. This honestly shaves off so much time and energy when grinding not only for levels and class points, but also affinity. But of course, specific party members whose affinity you want to level up, them being in your party during quests will definitely help because they'll get affinity from different answer choices and whatnot. But the fact that you don't have to keep swapping out party members, and the fact that you don't have to deal with some characters being lower level than others, that's a really awesome change that they've implemented in this Definitive Edition.
Next up is the time changes. Back in the original, the only way to change the time was either by going to one of these red benches or to the large box at any BC area. In Definitive Edition, you can still use one of the two methods to change the time, but there's been an added menu where you can change the time anywhere that you want. This makes it a lot easier to change the time if you're seeking a very time-specific tyrant, or if you're trying to avoid a terrible weather condition, which is most likely in Oblivia.
There have been a lot of really great quality of life changes and additions to the Frontier Nav system in Xenoblade Chronicles X. First of all, quest tracking is so much easier now. Now you don't have to go on the wiki and look up exactly where specific items are. You can track them directly from the Frontier Nav and your minimap. The quest tracking works very similarly to how it did in Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition in 2020, and your follow ball now works very similarly to how the Iris kind of guided you in Xenoblade 3. Not only that, but the way you plant probes and get treasures is also very different. I know many of you guys probably spam the A button on the first week of playing this game, but now you just have to easily hold down the A button to get that probe unlocked or to uncover that treasure. Oh, and speaking of probes and treasures, field skills are completely gone. So every single treasure and every single probe is available right from the start unless it's locked behind one of the off-the-record missions which are still in this game. One more thing is based off of how much you explore of certain continents and areas in Mira, you will get survey rewards which are very, very helpful. Some of these might be energy clips to extend your quick recast gauge, it might be credits, it might be reward tickets. Regardless, a lot of these rewards and all these quality of life features make this experience so much more manageable, so much easier, and so much more seamless. And I saw myself getting through this game's main story a lot faster than I did on the Wii U version.
Quick Recast is the most busted mechanic in the entire Xenoblade series. Pairing it with Max Overdrive makes you absolutely unstoppable. I'm sure most of you already know what it is, but in case you didn't, Quick Recast allows you to use an uncharged art instantly, and with a full bar, you can do quite a few quick recasts. Some take up more of the bar than others.
We have a brand new skill in this game. As many of you guys might have seen in some of the trailers, the Hresvelg model is finally available in this game. We saw it teased in the Art of Mira art book, but now we finally are able to play around with it in this game itself. The Hresvelg model is available after you complete an important affinity mission near the mid-game, and it's not customizable like the other scales are, but it's just super cool to use in combat and just to look at. It also has the ability to glide before even getting a flight module, so you can reach far distances pretty easily without even the need to actually fly. And once you get your flight module and complete another important affinity mission, you get access to cruise mode. It's basically like all range mode in a Star Fox game, and it's just so much fun to fly around all the continents like this. And I truly believe that this is a tease as to what we're going to be getting in the future when it comes to flight and mech traversal in a future Xenoblade and Monolith Soft game.
Another change a lot of online players absolutely appreciate is the addition of private parties. I covered this in another video, but in the original, even post-Miiverse, there was still quite a lot of people that would play the game. A lot of them were randos that would join your lobby as you were waiting for your friends, which totally sucks if you already had a party of 4, and on top of that, it's even worse when it was a hacker. Of course, hacking does make things better in some cases when you're doing some tedious ticket grinding, but this takes away the experience from the people who actually want to play the game, regardless if it goes well or not.
In Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, you can recruit 4 new characters that were not available and not present in the Wii U version at all. 2 of these characters have been shown in the trailers and the promotional material, and those are Nail, the Clurian, who was cut from the original game. You can even see her original concept art in the Art of Mira art book. And then there's Liesel, who's an all-new character who pilots the new Skell, the Hresvelg, which was also a scrapped vehicle in Skell, which you can see in Art of Mira. The other two characters are a surprise. I don't want to talk about them in this video and spoil the surprise for you guys, but each of these characters comes with 2 new affinity missions as well, so a lot of meaty content comes from these characters. Not only can you play as them, but you have 2 new affinity missions and a whole lot of different playstyles to mix up your adventure.
The next change is one of my personal favorites. A lot of people completely missed it, but now you can see your avatar on the title screen. This small, subtle change has a huge impact, and it truly makes you feel more connected to the game, like Mira is waiting for you the moment you start up the game.
There are many new arts to play around with in this game. Like I said earlier, you have 4 new characters, and all 4 of these new characters come with new arts, which you can get when you complete their affinity missions. I won't say what arts they are, but I'll just say that some weapons like the sniper rifle, the ray gun, psycho launchers, photon saber, and long swords all get new arts, and some of these arts are incredible and honestly truly game-changing, so get excited to play around with these if you have not gotten these new characters or these arts yet.
The character creator has seen quite a few changes. There's been additions, removals, and replacements. Various hairstyles in both the male and the female avatar were removed and replaced with new hairstyles. We now have Pyra, Mithra, Malos, Mio, and Nia's hairstyle that you can rep on your own avatar. Besides hairstyles, we also have replacements in the face paint options. If you want to learn more about what was changed in the character creator, be sure to check out my video on every avatar change.
Another change that was absolutely game-changing and shaved so many hours off of my Switch playthrough is the fact that you can swap characters out whenever you want, wherever you want. I remember during the pre-release for this game, everyone was saying that this was probably the biggest, most important change that this game has ever had, and I honestly am inclined to agree, because a lot of time was wasted in the Wii U version when I was just running around New LA, trying to remember where character hangout spots were, and they just weren't there, or they were busy in another location because their heart-to-heart was active. It was kind of a disaster. This really helps with grinding levels and affinity, because whenever you just feel like adding a new character to level up their class level or their arts or get more affinity on them, you can do it wherever and whenever you want, regardless if you're in an affinity mission or a normal mission or just running around in the world or even in a story mission sometimes, depending on some of the character requirements. And honestly, this makes doing affinity missions and starting affinity missions so much easier, because like I said, you don't have to search for people all around NLA and remember their hangout spots. If you realize that you need certain characters on your team for a mission, you can swap them out instantly right from the menu.
There's been a lot of changes to the UI elements of the game. The menus have been cleaned up to be more simple, with brighter colors and a more futuristic look. During battle, we have a display of various overdrive color combinations, quick recast, and a change in the positioning of certain features. I made a video covering all the battle UI changes if you want to see more details about it.
Probably one of the biggest changes in this entire definitive edition, and something that us fans have been wanting ever since we beat the base game on the Wii U, is we're finally getting a complete ending. As many of you guys know, Xenoblade X's story was incomplete on the Wii U, and we were left at a very tough cliffhanger in the original release. So now in the definitive edition, we have a whole new chapter with 3 acts in this definitive edition. We also have a whole new location to explore in the floating continents that you guys have seen in the trailers. This ties up a lot of loose ends and finally gives us a definitive ending in this game. I'm not going to talk about what happens, and please don't spoil anything in the comments down below, but if you guys have beaten the epilogue in chapter 13 and want to check out my reactions to everything that happened in all 3 acts, you guys should check out my channel and watch my live stream VODs, because it was a lot of fun to live stream and react to all this.
There's an addition of newer shortcuts both in and out of battle, and some of the shortcuts that were added is follow ball, appendage, and map zooming.
And the final change in Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition from the original is, in my opinion, the biggest change that Definitive Edition makes for this entire Xenoblade Chronicles X experience. And that is the fact that it is finally not on the Wii U anymore. We can finally abandon our Wii U's and we can finally play this game on the Nintendo Switch. We've been waiting for this ever since the Switch came out, and I'm so glad that I can play this game in true handheld mode, not just on my Wii U gamepad, and I'm very happy that it is finally getting the recognition it deserves. It's not on a dead console, and hopefully it'll get the Switch effect when it comes to the sales, just like the other Xenoblade Chronicles games got. One other special thing is, as many of you guys may or may not know, there are rumors going around that we might get a 60 FPS patch for Xenoblade X DE on the Nintendo Switch 2. Deep inside the code of Xenoblade Chronicles X, there is a 60 FPS toggle. If that's toggled on the Switch 1 version, it kind of messes up the entire game. And as we've been seeing with the launch of the Switch 2, a lot of games have gotten free updates like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and Echoes of Wisdom, and I'm really hoping all 4 Xenoblade games get this upgrade, which bumps up the resolution and the frame rate, but I really specifically hope that Xenoblade X gets it, because even with the Definitive Edition, it just looks the greatest out of all of the games on the Switch, and getting that resolution and frame rate bump will put this game in front of so many other people who are interested in these kinds of games and looking forward to getting their hands on this game as well.
And number 21. Wait, this is the 20 best changes. Oh well. Number 21. The Gwyn chattification. So that was the 20 best changes in Xenoblade X. Let me know which one is your favorite, and if I missed anything, please be sure to comment it below. Thank you so much once again, Nish Quick Pops, for being a part of this video. If you like this video, drop a like and subscribe for more Xenoblade content.